Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and I have not a standard but the tasty beverage. It's a Newcastle brown ale, and I'm drinking it because last night I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I was speaking on C# 8 at their developer user group, and then afterwards we went out and had a couple beers. And the first one I had was a Hefeweizen, which was good. Second one, I wanted a brown ale, or brown nut ale, or whatever, and they had an imperial brown. I was like, what's imperial? Well, it has more alcohol. Okay, fine, sounds like a good idea. No, it didn't taste good. Maybe it was just the beer itself, but I could only have half of it, and I was just like, nah, this is not what I like, so decided to have this one. I'm feeling pretty mellow, not in a bad way, not like sad mellow, just mellow, and that's probably a good thing. So what I'm going to do is, yet again, I joked with Rocky today. I posted a video today, I think it was like 89 or something, or whatever, and and Rocky retweeted it, or tweeted it and said, see how a CSLA analyzer is done. And I'm like, dude, it's like half my videos now. it's ridiculous. But all that said, there's still stuff to be done with it. So what I'm gonna work on is, when I was editing a video, I noticed that the one with operations, not serial, operation method, public, no. Oh, what do I call these things? Does operation have attribute? Code fix. And I'm going to also bring up the business object, make serializable, because what I started realizing is I really should do this as well. So right now, the add code fix doesn't do that. What I was basically saying is, at this point, if you already have an operation, you should have CSLA as a using statement, but I should not assume that. So I thought, no, let's put this in here. Okay, so essentially the idea is to just copy this and then put that in here. Okay, though I can't really quite do that. I have to do this, and we want the CSLA. Do I have constants? No, I don't. Okay. So I think I'm just going to leave it here until I find a better reason. Public constant string CSLA space. Okay. So then we're going to take this. What I was intending to say is, once I get this done, I might do some more pony stuff. What was I calling that? Yeah, okay, just to be consistent. Okay. And then, of course, I don't have has using here, so what's has using? Oh, is that like a extension method I wrote? Good. Makes that easy. New root is complicated. Add using, except we want to do this. Now I don't think, I don't have a difference between the two. So in other words, I thought I actually said add using, and then I had a different code fix to say, like, I'm going to actually, add serializable and using description. Well, okay, now I'm a little confused. What would happen if you don't have it? Yeah, wait a minute. I actually realized something here. I would guess that what I would want to say is if you add serializable description, because what happens if you don't, if you already have that? I don't think I've ever caught that before. So I think what I want to say here then is, oh, you know what? Okay, so we'll say var description is going to be that. No, it's going to be that. Unless you end up actually having to add the using. And then it will be that. And then down here, description. Okay. And so I would want to do the same thing here. Of course, I just close what I'm trying to copy and using statement. You know, actually it's and using statement. There's no statements, you're just going to do statement. I don't know what I was thinking. Whoops, no, not there. Add attribute and using description. Add attribute and using statement. Okay. So what I and you know, no, I'm going to just say add attribute. I'm not going to be fancy because I want it to be generalized. Okay. So here we want to say var description is equal to that, and then if you didn't have it, we're going to change the description to that, and then we change this to description. There we go. Okay, so let me run this first, and then I'm going to update the tests to reflect that. I noticed that I think it's a conference called CodeMesh, which is in London. I think that they announced that they're having like a half-day or all-day session on programming in Pony, and I was like, oh, I would have loved to go to that. That would have been so cool. But, oh well. Can't win them all. Jesus. I have all these Legos on this table of mine from, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have this Lego set that my kids got me a couple years ago, and I built it. It was the elephant from Halo. And then somehow it got destroyed, and then over Christmas, this past Christmas, I spent time, they had found what they thought were all the pieces, my wife and my kids. And so I organized them all, and then I found out that I was missing some. And so I've never gone back and actually like figured out which ones I'm missing, so they can go and, like my wife said, we'll go find the ones that you're missing. And never gone back to do it. And I just put my beer down, and I heard something fall, and I was like, was that my beer? So that's why I jumped. So I have to spend time to actually do this and get this off my table on the side here, so I have my table back. All right. Serializable type tests. Okay. This should have an error because it's not serializable, even though the base type is. Okay. So this is adding serializable, right? But if I take this off, then what it should be is add serializable and using statement. Okay. Yeah. Because why would you not want that? Okay. So that's good. Okay. File close. What about operations and attributes? Oh, well, what's going to happen here is it's going to say that, but then it's going to say that's redundant because you don't need it, which is okay, because the vast majority of code that's written for CSLA, I don't think most people won't put it in a CSLA namespace. That's it's kind of an oddity that I'm doing here. So I don't know if there's a way to say, do you need it? Like in the code that you're in, would this namespace be needed? I guess I could check the type that you're in and if it's in CSLA, but I don't know. I'll let a bug report come through. So I'm basically saying I'm letting it's not a bug. It's just it's an annoyance. You know, it doesn't break your code. It's just, you know, we want to get rid of it. But okay. But if I did have using CSLA here, and then I came down here, oops, and I said, yeah, then it notices it has it, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. Because again, most people won't be doing that. They will be like business objects or domain objects, you know. They're not going to call them CSLA. Maybe somebody does, and then if they complain, they can post. And then I can figure out, well, would you really need this? It's kind of an interesting problem. But you know what? I don't want to do that tonight. So let's go to our tests. But you know, it's already bugging me. It's like, well, you're not being complete. So maybe I'll take a look at that quick. Is business object... See, the one with system, I think it's like you really shouldn't ever say like namespace system.stuff. I don't think it will bark at you. Maybe if you had FXCOP analyzers on, which I thought I did. Maybe I just have them in the analyzers. No, that's rocks. That's what I did it on, is rocks, not here. I think you would actually get kind of a... all the net standard stuff. That's not me. That's Rocky. That ain't me. I don't think you'd really want to do that. And I don't think you'd really want to put stuff in that namespace either. That all said, when system exists. But system doesn't exist. Wait a minute. These tests suck. I think I've been not really testing what I should be testing. I'm finding out that this change text thing, I've really got to figure out a better way because it's not as precise as I want it to be. Okay. This actually should have using system in it. Then that's okay. But then this should just be add serializable description. This one will be that. Okay, and now if I come to my operation of code fix. Oh, holy crap. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Okay, that's fine. Verify get fixes. So I basically want a switch that says either include using CSLA or not, depending upon rule. Include using CSLA. Then we also want a string expected description. So then all these are going to break, which is okay. So then here what I want to do is say include, oh, actually I have to do that, include using CSLA. Then I will say that else string.empty. Okay. And then we'll just have that. Expected texts equals, if you have include using CSLA, then what you should see here is using CSLA, right? Because that's like, yeah. Else, you would just expect to see that. Okay, so then we'll do that. And then we'll come in here and say description. Expected description. Okay, so then here, what I need to do is view the ones we want. So in this case, and has using. Okay, so we're going to say true, and then the expected description is it has the using would be this. And I guess, okay, this is where I'm starting to go, could I just do this as a data row test? Right? I mean, why not? And call it a data. Yeah, why? You know, I'm starting to go, why not? Why not? So we're going to call this a data row. And we're just going to grab all this. Okay. And then what is that? That is a data test method. Okay. And then we gotta say public async. I still am a little bothered that displaying gets or sets display name and test results for customization. You know, I think I'm going to go back to those other tests and add them because I think it's good to do this. Okay. So we have operation name, attribute name, include using, expected description. Yeah. And so then what I can do is a lot of copy and paste. Data row, we're going to say false and attribute and does not have using. Okay, then we're going to do this. Grab these two and put them here. Come back down here, copy that. And are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Because, you know, this is entertaining to me. Oh, believe me. Add attribute and has using and does not have using. Not has using. Have. I'm going to comment these up for just a second because I want to see if I'm kind of going down the right path here. Gee, and look at the time. Wouldn't you know it, that this is going to take more time than I thought it would. Have I ever said that in any code video that I have made so far? I've never underestimated the time. Well, they all ran. Or they're running now. Ooh, one failed. Giggity drops. What failed? Well, two failed because... Did I confuse you? Did I make you... Or if I get fixes. Does operation have attribute? Add attribute. Oh, these are coming up with the... Because I still call it verify get fixes. Okay, well, good to know. It's doing that. But the is, those all worked. Okay. Oh, no. I have this the wrong way. Yeah, I have this the wrong way. We want to put this here. Because if you're including CSLA, it's up in there, so it wouldn't show up. Right? Right. And it's just that simple. Or not. Of course. What am I doing? Oh, so some of them are working now. Okay, so which ones are working? Verify get fixes. It fails, but then it should. So the way this is grouped is kind of weird. So when it has the using, it's okay, but when it does not have the using, I'm getting an exception. Okay. What would that be? Well, when you don't have it, when you do have it, it's not there. When you don't have it, then you're saying it should be there. So why would this... You know, what I'm finding out is, how do you debug this? Like, you're going to have 4 things coming in. How do you say which one it is? Okay, so if I say... Well, you know what? This is actually hard to test. It's hard to test because this actually needs that. I'm not saying that's going to fix it, but if you don't have the using there, then it doesn't know what a business base is. Though I don't know if that would actually screw it up or not. Okay, well, but there you go. And Bob's your uncle. Okay, cool. So that actually was the problem. Okay, so we can continue on. All right. So I will get these tests in. We got about 5 minutes, so you can be astounded, amazed at the coding, copying skills that I have. Or not. And then we do this, and we do that. Except we do this, we do that, and does not have using. That takes care of the insert. Let's do the update. Shop dot up top. I have been watching, kind of on the side as background noise, Markiplier's Alien Isolation walkthrough, and I don't know why, but I find it really entertaining and fun. I don't find what he's been doing lately to be fun to watch. I liked it when he did Let's Plays, and I personally found that entertaining. He doesn't seem to do that anymore, or not as much as he used to, and Oh well. But the Alien Isolation one is got some really good moments in it, and it's fun to have as background. That game is just one of the best games I have ever played. It's truly frightening. It is truly scary and really well done. It has some, as people have made comments about, it does have some pacing problems. In that, and this is going to be spoilers if you've never played the game before, but it does have a pacing problem in that when the alien is jettisoned, and you get rid of the alien, this delete self, and you get back into Sevastopol, it kind of loses pace a little bit. Like it seems to suddenly drag, and it's harder to actually kind of figure out the environment and what you're supposed to do. I mean, I noticed Markiplier had that problem, but I did too when I played it. It felt like something started to just. It didn't seem to be like what's going on. Though if you start, the one thing I have found out is I've watched somebody do a Let's Play that has no commentary and does like everything, and so you can actually read all the notes, and you can see all the computer entries, and you can see all the special places you can go if you've got the ion torch. He actually goes back and does everything. So one thing I noticed is that when he got to that point, and you listen to like all the background announcements and everything, that yes, it's actually it's fairly ominous, because when you take the shotgun from the guy that's dead, he's been killed obviously by an alien, but you may not really notice that, or even if you notice it, just like, well, maybe he was killed by the alien that you jettisoned, and you just kind of go, well, okay, whatever. And so the fear kind of goes away, because the other aliens are there, don't announce themselves until you actually get underneath the reactor. So it's actually I'll say this, that area is child. That area is actually not that bad at all. The problem is when you're in that kind of like market area where they have the shops and everything, and you don't know which door to go into, it can actually get kind of confusing. It was for me. I got rather confused as to which doors open, which don't. Am I going the right way? And it does get frustrating. But that's like the only minor thing of the game. And other than that, the game is absolutely awesome. I just actually, this shows you how much of an Alien fan I am. I just picked up the, does not. I just picked up the book version, the novelization of the game. And unless you're a big fan, I would avoid it. It has some good background story on like how Amanda like came to be, and her family, and where did her mother go, and all that stuff. Those stories I actually thought were good. The problem that I have with the novel is, one, it doesn't bring, and I've read, I think, like almost every Alien novelization of the movies and other books and stuff like that. And there have been some that are done that are truly frightening and do a good job of adding that in there. I didn't get that impression from this book at all. he doesn't really follow what actually happens in the game at times very well. And I get it. You can't, because it's a different, it's a different medium, and you can't like talk about everything she reads in the computer or every name tag that she finds. That I don't have a problem with, but there are things that are done in the novelization that I like, no, that's not what happened, and I don't see why he did that. And I think he could have spent more time on, the alien stalking her and finding her, and the section where you find the nest beneath the reactor. That's truly like, oh my god, yeah, this just that it escalated. It definitely escalates at that point, and things really start getting frightening at that point. And I didn't get that notion from the book at all. So it's a very mixed bag for me. And I read somewhere that apparently the author actually didn't play the game himself, which I wouldn't doubt that. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but it would not surprise me if he didn't, because I think he's missing because that game, dear God, when you actually get killed by an alien, oh man, the first time, so I played it, and I actually had to stop because it was that intense for me. And then I watched Markiplier play it, and so that got me, oh, that's what's going to happen in the game, and so that helped. But even with that, when I finally decided, okay, I'm going to play this myself, I think I played it in not like the easiest mode, but middle or something like that. I was not going to play it the hardest mode. And run tests. And I didn't die until, what section was that? When you're trying to get the stuff for Cool Man, the doctor, and you get the code for a door to get past, but you have to keep going into more areas before you finally get back to Cool Man. So I get into that area, and I was trying to be so cautious, and I think like one time I didn't know it was there, and I just turned a corner, and like the alien just like standing there in the hallway, and I went, and I dropped my control. I'm like, I'm screwed. I died, and it's like, okay, now that that's over, I can move on with the game, because I know I suck now, and it's okay if I die from that point on. If you've never played the game, it was done like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, but it is so worth it. I'm going to run this one more time and then just make sure that it all works as expected, and then I'm going to commit it. And then I'm actually going to do another episode. We're going to do more pony fun. But if you've never played the game, even if you're not a big fan of Alien, just as a game experience, it's done very, very well. Very well, in my humble opinion. And so I would highly recommend that you take a look at it, give the game a shot. It's definitely worth it. So, let's see. Do this. Yep. If I say using... I guess what I could do is have 2 classes here to do that, but that's okay. I'm okay with this. And then just make sure it's a serializable type. That this should tell me just add serializable, but if I don't do that, then I come back here and serializable using statement. Perfect. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit this work, get the branch in the PR. I'm going to do that off camera. And I'm going to do one more recording where I'm going to do some more pony stuff. So, that's all for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.